So a couple days ago, I posted a picture on Instagram, and basically it was a shirtless pic. You know, one of those douchebag mirror selfies, as they call them. However, like in my case, because I lift weights and I've been in the process of getting leaner, basically for the last 5 months, it was kind of like a physique progress picture. And, I don't really think there's anything wrong with showing the fruits of your labor, especially when it comes to lifting weights. So, it's hard work and it's a 24/7 process because you're eating all day, every day. Well, not literally all day, but, you have to be on top of your diet all day, every day, right? So, it's kind of just like a physique update type picture. And, it's funny because I posted this picture. Again, it's me shirtless. I have abs. I look good. I'm just over 6 feet tall, 205 pounds with abs. I'm lean. My physique is looking really good. Okay. And I posted the picture, and over the course of 2 days, it got like only 3 likes. But here's the funny part. I lost 2 followers. It's crazy to me that that's even a possibility in that type of a scenario. I mean, I'm not trying to say like I'm all that and I should be like gaining followers and getting 100 likes, but it's like, let me just give you sort of like a contrast, okay? A woman who is overweight can just like put a picture of herself in a bikini and get like 100 likes. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there's like this crazy sort of discrepancy in experiences. And when you think about it, I mean, I know you shouldn't be comparing yourself to quote unquote, as they say, but it's like, it's human nature to do that. And, it's just crazy when you think about it. But here's what really got me, okay? I came across this YouTube channel, and I came across a Facebook page also, which was very similar. But I came across this YouTube channel. There's this woman, and she's like morbidly obese, okay? She's like at least 400 pounds. She has, huge stomach. She has like over 12,000 subscribers. She has like over, what was it, like 25 million views or 50 million views? I don't remember off the top of my head, but it was in like the tens of millions of views for her channel. And she has a bunch of pages, right? And what she does is she posts shorts of herself with music in the background while she like rubs her stomach and like, I don't even know, like jiggles her stomach with her hands, just up and down. Like the last one I saw, it was like Roddy Ricch, the box song. And then she's just there like, and I mean, like, this is society now, bro. This is society in 2026. But like the crazy thing, what I was getting at was like, you have me, and it's not really about me, any rando, gym rat off the street who's like a dude. But in this case, me, I post a picture of the fruits of my labor, years and years of hard work, tons of discipline in terms of my diet and getting lean and having abs and, doing something impressive. I don't think I'm the most amazing person in the world, but like, I'm just saying, it's like, this was one of those physique pictures. Like, this is what I accomplished. And it's like, I got punished for it. You know what I'm saying? I got punished for it. And that's not the first time something like that has happened. Like, this is kind of a trend, you know what I mean? I lose 2 followers and I get like 3 likes in 2 days. It's crazy. And then you have, on the other hand, you have like a morbidly obese woman who's like 400 pounds, a wrecking ball, like just a ball of blubber, right? A ball of lard. Puts like a Roddy Ricch song in the fucking background while she rubs her tummy, and she has like 25 million views on her channel. And she has tons of pages, like I mentioned earlier, so, in the About Me section, she has all these different pages, and I'm sure she's offering services, if you know what I'm saying. I don't know. I didn't research it, but it was like, obviously she's making money because she has clients and she has all these pages. So, like, it's so dystopian. It's so dystopian. It's like, if you do the right thing and you try to showcase it, you're punished for it. And by the right thing, I mean, like, you actually do something productive and positive. Like, I was lifting weights and like I got lean, blah, blah, blah. But, and I get that, like, all of her followers are simps. I get that. Like, they're all dudes. They're like horny guys. They're trying to get her attention. I totally understand that. But it's just when you look at the discrepancy in the experience, it's night and day. It's crazy. But then that sort of led me to another thought, which was, well, there are fitness pages that are popular where guys are, showcasing themselves and, they end up getting, really popular on Instagram or TikTok or whatever, YouTube, I don't know, Snapchat, I don't know, but, they end up getting popular. And it's like, well, how does that end up happening if, like, as a rando gym rat like myself or any other rando gym rat who's a male, we get beaten down for showcasing our results. Like, we're punished for it. So how do you go from being punished for posting a shirtless selfie to display, the fruits of your labor and hard work? How do you go from that to having like a page with 100,000 followers and you're making a living, right? Like, where does the transition happen, right? Well, I think the main difference is PEDs, steroids, because like every single page that you view in terms of fitness influencers, they all have the popping abs, right? And the separation in the abs, and they're like full, but they're also lean and dry, right? And they don't all have that roided out look necessarily, but that's why I said PEDs instead of steroids, because there are a lot of PEDs that will help you to get lean that are not steroids, like clenbuterol or cardarine, if you want to go down like the SARMs. That's not actually a SARM, but it's like SARM adjacent. You know what I'm saying? There's so many PEDs nowadays. So like you really have to be taking something if you want to make it in the fitness industry, which that in and of itself is another dystopian reality. There was the first dystopian reality where it's like, you're a dude and like, man, you worked hard for this. And like, man, I got a body that could be in like a magazine. You know what I'm saying? And you post it and you're just, you post a picture of your body and it's like you're punished. It's crazy. And then you have a woman who's like morbidly obese, and she she just posts shorts of wearing nothing but underwear with Roddy Ricch in the background rubbing her tummy, and she is making thousands of dollars a month without having to work a real job. It's crazy, bro. This is a dystopia. This is like a fucking nightmare. You know what I mean? Like, this is a clown world that we live in. It's a circus. And, it's depressing 100%. Yeah, it's absolutely depressing. But it's, I don't know, man. Like, it's just fucked up, man. It's fucked up. But going back to the fitness industry and the fact that like all these people are on PEDs, and even the natural ones, even the ones who, are claiming natty, either they are actually natural, but they have to do everything in their power to look like they're on PEDs. Like, look at Alexander Leonidas, otherwise known as Alpha Destiny. He used to be, that's his, he'll always be Alpha Destiny for the OGs in the fitness industry, in the fitness. If you've been following fitness for a while, you'll know what I'm saying. But like he goes by Alexander Leonidas now, and he's natural or whatever. I'm sure he is. He's really short, and it's easier for like short guys to like look really jacked naturally and stuff. But he has to have that non-natural look, even if he's natural, right? So like in order to make it in the fitness industry, you have to have a non-natural look, because that's how you're going to stand out. Ironically, of all the people who have made it in the fitness industry, none of them stand out because they all have that unnatural look to them, right? And so like the thing about it is if you're following one of these fitness pages and you don't want to take steroids, right? Especially if you're like a younger guy and you're more impressionable, and let's say, that person claims natural, that fitness influencer that you're following, even if they are actually natural, they are trying to go for a look that is not natural. And these fitness influencers, they don't have real jobs. So like, they have all the time in the world to meticulously track their diet and take all the supplements in the world, nitric oxide boosters, natural fat burners, and all these things that they can be taking. And they don't have to go to a job where they're going to be like burning a ton of calories and put themselves into like, putting themselves into like a catabolic state. They don't have to worry about any of that. They have all the time in the world, but you really don't. And so even if they are natural, they don't have a realistic lifestyle, in the sense that they don't have a lifestyle that most people would be able to emulate, because most people have to work, right? So like most people don't have that kind of disposable time. If I had all the time in the world, my physique looks pretty good right now, but if I had I didn't have to work and I had like unlimited money and all I had to do was just focus on fitness, like, you kidding me? Like I would look crazy, ridiculous, So, I mean, that's their setup. So like if you follow one of these people, well, you might as well just be following somebody who's on steroids, because that's basically the look that you're going for anyways, right? So yeah, I mean, like, the problem with the fitness industry is it's just rampant with PED usage. And there's this weird irony where there are so many different PEDs nowadays, aside from steroids. Like back in the day, you had to basically like, you either use steroids or like you stayed natural, right? There weren't a lot of options like before the age of the internet. But now it's like there's so many options. There's like SARMs, there's research chemicals, there's peptides, there's a million sort of like supplements that are like kind of in the like quasi in between territory, where it's like you're quasi natural, quasi unnatural, like who knows, right? So like there's so many different options for being able to take something that gives you an edge. But the irony of that is like it's almost like it makes it easier to end up taking steroids, because there's just this like sort of slippery slope type of effect where it's like, well, okay, I'm going to take this, but I'm not going to take steroids, right? Well, what if I just take this? It's only like one step higher, but it's not steroids, right? And then, you take that for a while and you get comfortable taking that. Like, let's say it's like a SARM, right? Like you start off with like MK2866, Ostarine, one of the, kind of modest, mild SARMs. And you take one of those, and then, you kind of get used to it, and you're like, you know what? I'm not going to take steroids, but I'm going to take YK11, right? And so it's a myostatin inhibitor, and it's a little bit more intense than Ostarine. So you take YK, and then, that kind of, you take it and you start getting used to that. And then, it's a slippery slope. So you start, taking more and more intense, more and more advanced. And then eventually you're just taking steroids, because like once you're like one level below steroids, you're like, well, I'm already almost at that level, so might as well take steroids. So it's kind of funny how it's like we have all these other options aside from steroids, but that ironically makes it almost easier for people to slip into steroid use, especially these young impressionable kids. I don't even know why like young guys would want to take steroids, because like girls don't give a fuck about how much muscle you have. Like they really don't. And if you're trying to be one of these fitness influencers, yeah, you're going to have to take steroids. Like if you want to look like one of these Gymshark models or whatever, yeah, you got to take steroids 100%. You must take steroids. But there are so many people who you're going to be competing against, and you're probably not going to make it. You probably do not have the genetics to be able to have a body good enough to garner the attention to be on that level. And even if you do, there's a lot of people with good genetics, but they just are never discovered, or, they just, for whatever reason, it just, they never blow up. Right. And that's kind of a risk that you take too. So like let me give you an example here. So I have videos on my channel on YouTube and on some other social platforms where I'm incline pressing the 120-pound dumbbells and also the 115-pound dumbbells, okay? So incline pressing serious weight for reps. I think the one with 115 was like for 5 reps, and I have a video doing the 120s for 4 reps. And again, this is 120-pound dumbbells. So like in each arm, 120 in one arm, 120 in the other, just for clarification. Okay, so yeah, the big dumbbells. And I'm doing perfect form. I'm repping them out. You can tell that I can control the weight. I barely have any views on those videos. But I get shoved in my face Instagram shorts, Instagram videos, whatever you want to call them, all the time. Or like Facebook shorts, whatever. I shouldn't say all the time, but like on multiple occasions over the last couple of years, since I've had my videos up, I've seen guys who have blown up, who have these shorts of them half repping the 115s or half repping the 100s for like 8 reps. And then they throw the fucking weights on the ground, 10,000 views. And people are saying, whoa, you're strong, bro. Bro, like go on my page. Dude, come on. Like, I could do like the 100-pound dumbbells for, gosh, like what, 12, 15 reps? I mean, full range of motion, easy peasy. You know what I'm saying? Like, so whether or not you blow up isn't really even determined necessarily based on your strength level, progress in the gym, progress with your physique. It's just kind of like random, you know what I mean? And like, it's also a lot of smoke and mirrors too when it comes to the fitness industry. It's just so smoke and mirrors where it's like the flashiness of it. You know what I mean? Like, I got a high quality camera and there's a bunch of jump cuts and like, here's me do the 100-pound dumbbells and just half rep, and you have music in the background, and then, you drop the weights on the ground for that dramatic effect, and then it just cuts to, the next scene, and it's like, it's all smoke and mirrors, and it's like, it's not about the substance. It's not about like, okay, what did you actually fucking do at the gym? How much did you lift? Right? It's about all the bullshit around that. And that's the problem with the society that we live in today. It's all fucking smoke and mirrors and bullshit. It's not about what you're actually supposed to be focusing on. It's about all the bullshit around it. But especially with the, the fitness industry, or specifically, I should say, not especially, but specifically, because that's what we're talking about, right? Because that's what Instagram and TikTok reward, right? Like in the viewers, that's what they want to see. They want to see the flashiness, music in the background. They want to see the aura of the video. People like that word aura now. Although now it's probably lame, and now I'm lame for saying that, so it's probably something new now. But fuck it, I don't give a fuck. You know, so it's like, you can't win. You know what I mean? Like, I spend all these years developing strength and a physique and this and that, and I have videos on my channel, but of me, dumbbell pressing with perfect form and perfect control, the 115-pound dumbbells, the 120-pound dumbbells, but some random dude on steroids who's like 22 years old, who's weaker than me, and I'm natural. He's on steroids and he's weaker than me, half repping the 100-pound dumbbells and throwing them on the ground because he's too weak to be able to control the weights and like put them on his lap, get up, and then re-rack them. He has to throw them on the ground. And he's the one who has like 100,000 followers. You know, whereas I would put him to shame in terms of strength level comparisons in the gym. And if I were to take the steroids that guy were taking, my physique would, it would be like night and day difference between mine and his. Like, I would absolutely destroy his. I already know that. I know my genetics, you know? And it's frustrating because you see what is rewarded. You see what is rewarded on social media. Smoke and mirrors, bullshit, morbidly obese women in underwear fucking jiggling their fat fucking tummies to Roddy Ricch in the background. 25 million channel views. Right? And this is society in 2026. This is what society venerates. This is what society wants to throw money at and throw attention to. I mean, all you can do is laugh. You either laugh or cry, you know that saying? You either got to laugh or you're going to cry. Now, I'm not really going to cry. I'm not sad about it. I'm either going to laugh or get pissed off, for me personally. I'm either going to laugh or get hella pissed. I'm not sad about this, but I'm fucking, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. It's frustrating. For sure. These fitness pages too, man. Like, it's another thing about the fitness pages, like, everyone ends up selling out too. At a certain point, they end up selling out. You had More Plates, More Dates. You had Greg Doucette, and their channels were so good. If you go back to Greg Doucette in the beginning, before he started screaming and like doing this sort of fast-paced, high-pitched tone, like his first videos, he was just kind of in a room and he was talking about supplements and steroids, and he was very calm and chill and cool and calm and collected. And it was just so easily digestible. His videos they were palatable. You could watch them and really, feel like, you watched it from beginning to end and it didn't drag on, but now, like, any of his videos, I every once in a while I try to watch one of his newer videos, and like from the last 3 years, I can't make it through like a fourth of it because it's just too much. Buy my turkesterone. It's just you know what I mean? Like, I can't. It's too much. It's too much. Too much yapping and high pitched, and again, I mentioned turkesterone because that's what I mean by selling out. Turkesterone has been shown to basically be snake oil. And around the time when he started to change his channel to this high-pitched screaming to get more engagement, that's when he started to push this turkesterone stuff. And he started to push this turkesterone stuff at the same time as More Plates, More Dates. More Plates, More Dates is the one back in the day. A lot of you guys won't know this, but like, it was like around 2015, 2016, 2017. I noticed More Plates, More Dates, he started coming out with all these videos about testosterone and all these studies, quote unquote, saying, does testosterone work? Well, it might work in some people, but it doesn't work in other people. And the ultimate outcome of that was Derek from More Plates, More Dates started selling his own testosterone. And then shortly after that, Greg Doucette started selling his own testosterone. So it started with Derek from More Plates, More Dates, really. He's the one who kind of like, birthed this whole testosterone bullshit. And again, More Plates, More Dates, like before that he was more reputable. But now that we know that he's selling snake oil, we can't really trust him, right? So, it's just it's frustrating, because there is like a window where channels, and this actually transcends fitness. Like this isn't just fitness, but I'm talking about fitness in this instance. There's a window of time where channels, it's usually from like when they first start until about like the 20,000 subscriber mark. But between 20,000 subscribers and 100,000 subscribers, that's where you see this evolution from being genuine and palatable and relatable to the watcher, to the viewer, to being watered down horse shit and just a fucking advertisement, a sellout, right? By the time a channel gets to 6 figures in terms of subs, once they get to 100,000 subs or more, the channel's worthless. I mean, if you guys start paying attention, you'll see what I'm saying. And what's even more depressing about that is the fact that, think about it, like in the instance of Greg Doucette, he changed his persona to being more high-pitched and annoying and obnoxious to gain more followers. Well, what else? That tells us that the lowest denominator, the average person out there, responds positively to loud, obnoxious bullshit that's basically like programmed to give you ADHD on the spot, And it's like, that's depressing. Like the average person wants to see just complete fucking slop, That is absolutely fucking depressing. But, that's, again, we live in a dystopia, although that part isn't really, as far as human beings responding